So we want to talk about retirement tonight. I don't. It's a weird thing that came up in conversation a little while back, just about the whole idea of retirement. Like in Western Canada, in North America, most places, pretty much everywhere in the world. I mean, people work
to retire.
And so you go through all of these steps. You get to a certain age, whatever that golden age is, and you
on a certain income.
Yeah, like there's all these standards around retirement.
Right.
And we learned about something a while back called Ikigai.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure
lots of you probably
have heard of it.
before.
Some of you haven't.
But it's really based around around Okinawa. Mm-hmm. And the Okinawans, they actually don't have a word for retirement. I'm not going to profess to be an expert on this by any stretch of the imagination. I just found it really an interesting topic to talk about. The gist of it is they don't have a word for retirement because they do something that they love. And if it's, manual labor, and when their, body is like, no, you can't do that all day anymore, they, train other people to do that, or they, give them the land and they work with them, but basically they do what they love their whole life, so they don't feel like, dear Lord, I can't wait until I retire. When is this going to end?
Yeah, which, I mean, it's funny, but not really, because it's a real struggle for a lot of people that it really is. Like, we've seen people too who have had like countdown calendars for retirement, and I'm not talking like in a month. We're talking like years out. Yeah. And the clock is running, and they know to the minute how long it is until they retire. And it's like, that sucks. Like, that's worse than living for the weekend. That's living for retirement. Like, that is just hoping for your life to friggin' end.
Well, you're really missing out on a lot when you've got that much forethought about something that far down the road.
For sure.
I think
then on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have also met people who have said, like, I'm set up to retire at 25. Cool. Okay, so like financially, what is it? They're like, I'm going to be financially fit to retire by 25. And then what? Like, financially fit in what way? Like, because if you're talking about possibility of sustaining 75 more years of life,
and not from a financial standpoint, just from a what are you going to do with yourself standpoint.
Gosh.
And that's what I think kind of got us talking about this. And from what I've read is Ikigai actually stands for the reason that you get out of bed in the morning. Like that's kind of the premise from what I can tell. And what I find interesting is the studies that we've read, they actually lead a healthier lifestyle. They live on average, like both men and women, live on average 7 years longer than North Americans. I mean, again, there's all sorts of things that go into this.
Live healthier till death. Yeah, they're not like in a nursing home at the end. They're like, fall asleep in their bed and that's the end of it.
Yeah, so and they do things, the Okinawans do things a little differently in terms of like they eat smaller portions of food. They eat until they're 80% full. They
don't eat fast food, processed food.
Yeah, they actually their children at a young age get into like these group like-minded groups of people, and there's way more than I know about. But there's all these lifestyle related things that they do, and it contributes to longer lives. Statistically, longer lives, healthier lives,
more fulfillment.
And
when asked,
like, and this whole idea of no word for retirement really had me kind of thinking, wow, what a crazy thing, because when you get to the stage where you can't work anymore, but you're doing something that you love.
So you're helping other people do it because
so
they
you just
love
transition.
It.
You shift your role into, like you said, now you're teaching, or you're maybe not the doer. You're not a farmer anymore, but you're teaching somebody how to farm. Or there's all kinds of aspects to it. But so you never really retire. You never stop
because you don't
want to. You don't need to.
And I think that's such a inspiration.
Yeah.
Because that is, like, what a way to live life, right? Like, to legitimately get up every day and be like, I get to do this, to the point where you're not setting a clock, I get to retire in 30 years, 12 days and 37 seconds, like,
Yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah.
But to actually have that where you're like, I don't care. I don't even think about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. So, I don't know. We just thought we'd bring it up, talk about it. If you haven't, look it up. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And there's so much to it that what if you started living your life that way?
Well, that's
you know?
just the funny thing. I mean, obviously it's doable
Yeah.
if there's, you know,
Civilization.
that is doing that. So
Yeah.
it's obviously a doable thing.
Yeah.
It's just, how do you incorporate that into your life?
Mm-hmm.
And like, how do we all incorporate that into our lives? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't we all be better off?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.